Welcome back, Captains. This is Yada Stafark, Fleet Ambassador for Starfleet Special Command. I'm here today to start a new video series called Overviews. Over the past few days, I have been getting a lot of questions regarding warp cores, so we're going to kick off this video series today with Overview Video Series Warp Cores. Alright guys, we're going to start off right here in the exchange. Go ahead and get into the exchange, see what we can find on these warp cores. As everybody knows already, there's going to be your normal layers of warp cores. You're still going to have your purple, your very rare, uncommon, and common warp cores. I'm mainly going to be going over the very rare ones because it shows all of these different bonuses that you get. Bonus 1, 2, 3, and 4. But as you go down, if you were to go to rare, it would drop to 3, uncommon 2, common, be all the way down at 1. Let's see, hit a common search real quick, and it just shows the one. Only one you're going to get for this is going to be the transwarp stuff. My recommendation right now for y'all that are just getting into the warp cores, if you've got the energy credits to do it, stay away from anything under rare. You can get into some of the rare warp cores for in the mid 100,000s. Once you start getting to some of the warp cores that everybody is using for a particular build, they tend to get on up into the millions, and when you get into the very rare ones, it starts in the low millions and ends up very high. Alright guys, we're going to start off right here. You have basically 3 types of warp cores. You have a field stability, an overcharged, and a hyper injection. On the field stabilizing warp cores, they are going to give bonuses to shields. So if you come over here and look on the very top line, it says plus 7.5 additional shield power. Bonus increases at low shield power. What the field stabilizing warp core does, it adds that bonus, the 7.5 additional shield power. Alright, what we can do now is type in overcharged. Alright, on the overcharged warp cores, as you can see, it actually changes from shield power to auxiliary power, 7.5 additional auxiliary power. And the last one is going to be the hyper injection. The hyper injection warp cores add a 7.5 additional engine power. As most of y'all know me by now, I am into escorts and DPS. So we'll start there with the escorts. Escorts need to be running the field stability. That tends to be what everybody's been going with these days, and that's what I'm actually running on mine. On the field stabilizing warp core, the reasons for them doing that is the plus 7.5 additional shield power. If y'all been flying escorts, you know that the more shields you have, the better off you are. Alright, now that we got the 3 main areas of the warp cores done, 3 different types, we're going to move on to the bonuses. Like I said, there you have the number 1 bonus, number 2, number 3, and number 4. Alright, in this number 1 column, there's actually 6 different types of bonuses that you can get in this first column. You're going to have an REP, which is a subsystem repair bonus, EPS, which is the electric plasma systems bonus. That's going to help your power transfer rate. COI, which is drive coil bonus. EFF, warp core efficiency bonus. SEP, starship engine performance bonus. And BAT, which is batteries bonus. So like right now, if you look at this one particular one here, it's got the SEP. We said that the SEP was the starship engine performance bonus. If you look over to the right, you can see where it says 16.2 to starship engine performance. Alright, let's go down to this next one. It says EFF, which is the efficiency. 16.2 to starship warp core efficiency. So as you can see the pattern that's developing here. Go down to coil, COI. 16.2 to starship driver coil. So everything that's going to be in this first bonus is going to be 16.2 to whatever it is. Go down here to the REP. Subsystem repair bonus. 16.2 to start subsystem repair. So it's pretty self-explanatory. Once you just take a look at it and figure out exactly what you're looking at, it's really not that difficult. On our second bonuses, there's quite a few different ones of these. I'm just going to explain how it works so you can understand it. Alright, you have a letter and then an arrow to another letter, and basically what this is telling you is that this letter is going to take power from this and put it into that. So right here you have an S. S stands for shields, and the little arrow means that it's going to transfer shields to weapons. Alright, so if we come over here and look to the right underneath the thing right here, you scroll down and look at it, this is right there, add 7.5% of your shield power to your weapon power as a bonus power. So if you come down to the next one, exact same thing as the first line, you have an E to W, so engines to weapons, add 7.5% of your engine power to your weapons power. Pretty self-explanatory, and it goes all the way down. Here's another one, the A and W is the auxiliary to weapons power, and it's 7.5%. So like I said, y'all can see this pattern that's evolving, going between the different bonuses here. So like I said, we can come down here, here's another one, weapons to auxiliary, 7.5 weapons to auxiliary. So like I said, it's pretty self-explanatory, and once it's explained, you can actually look at it and see it. Alright, your next one is going to be the W cap, E cap, S cap, A cap. Alright, now what these are, the third bonus, are going to be your battery capacitors. So again, W cap will be a weapons capacitor, E engines capacitor, S shield capacitor. So if we go up here to the W cap, on the right hand side, if you look down, you'll see weapons capacitor, weapons power buff, repels disabled weapon systems, plus 15 to weapon power setting for 10 seconds. So again, if you move down to the next one, it's going to say E for engines, S for shields, A for auxiliary. Again, pretty self-explanatory. Alright, for the last one is going to be your sector space bonuses. I really don't care which one of these I get. The main three that the way I do my warp cores is you want to look at these first three bonuses right here, and I could really care less what this last one is. If it come down to, a couple dollars here or there, maybe one to be cheaper, I might go with a particular sector space bonus. But we can look at it real quick. There's actually 4 different types of these sector space bonuses. So there's a trans, an SSS, an SST, and an SSR. Alright, your SSS. You can see right there underneath where it says weapon power as bonus power, it's actually, the SSS means plus 0.1 to the slipstream speed bonus. So SSS, slipstream speed bonus. Again, it's pretty easy. SST, that's going to mean T for turn rate, sector space turn rate. SSS, exact same one as the one up here. Alright, here's the SSR, sector space R, recharge, 50% recharge time reduction slipstream drive. And we have your trans, and trans means 50% reduced cooldown on transwarp. So, like I said, what you can do, what I like to do is come in here, figure out which one of the 3 different types of warp cores you need. Alright, how I determine that, field stabilizing. Like I said, for the escorts, this is the way you want to go because it's going to give you that extra shield power. Alright. The next thing I look for on my escort shields is going to be the EFF, which is your efficiency, your warp core efficiency, 16.2% warp core efficiency. It improves power levels when low. Now, the optimal one right here, this is the one where it's going to make a big difference in how much these warp cores are going to cost. The optimal one for this is going to be the W to S, because on your ship in an escort, what's going to be your most highest power setting? It's going to be your weapons. So you would actually want a W arrow S. That's weapon. It's giving you your 7.5 additional. I'm sorry, I said that wrong. No, I didn't. This is 7.5. It's going to be your weapons power to your shield power. It's going to give you the 7.5 bonus. Let me see if I can find one of those, which they are very rare, and they're usually toward the end because they're very expensive. Auxiliary weapons, weapons to engines, weapons to shields. Here we go. As you can see right there, add 7.5% of your weapon power to your shield power. That's the one you want, because that's going to give you the biggest boost to your shield that you can get, because again, your weapons power is the highest. Alright, on your third one, I have not been able to purchase a purple one yet, so I really haven't had a chance to play with the capacitors. I guess it really could go however you wanted it to. You could choose a weapons one. If your weapons power goes really low, or you get hit and your weapons go down, you can bring your weapons back up. Same thing goes for the shields, engines, and your auxiliary. Which is optimal? I would probably pick one of the two, either the weapons cap or the shield cap. That's the two main things that are most important on the escort, is the shields and the weapons. So really personal preference on which way you go with that. And on the end, like I said, it's really, again, personal preference. I would probably be more apt to go with the probably the SSS, the speed. I really don't care about turn rate, because I'm going to turn my ship point to where I need to go, get up to high warp, hit the slipstream, so that'll actually get you there quicker. I really don't care about turn rate and cooldown. I mean, I guess that could make a difference if you're doing a lot of exploration tours, trying to get the energy credits. And on the cooldown, I guess that could also work for that too. It really just depends on how you want to go about it. But like I said, I'd be probably more up for the speed. It's like I'm just going to turn point and roll out and go to where I need to go. Alright, as y'all know, one of the other builds that I've been messing with a lot lately has been the auxiliary to battery build. So if you actually go back and look at the three types of warp cores we have, like I said, we have the field stabilizing, which is the one we're looking at now. We have the overcharge, and the overcharge is the one that gives you the bonus to auxiliary. So let's take a look at that real quick. Overcharged. Here's a quick search. Alright. As you can see on the right, overcharged warp core gives a 7.5 additional auxiliary power. What that's going to do for you, if you can, the higher that your auxiliary power is in an auxiliary to battery build, when you activate auxiliary to battery, that's going to give you the most power. It's going to be going into your weapons, shields, and your engines. So the higher the auxiliary power you have, the better your auxiliary to battery is going to be. So what I would choose for an auxiliary to battery build on a warp core, which is what I'll be going with as soon as I get some credits to do it, I'm going to be going with an overcharged warp core. The first one I'm actually going to use is an EPS, and the EPS, what that does is 16.2 to the Starship electric plasma system, improves power transfer rate. And what are you doing with auxiliary to battery? You are transferring power. So when you hit auxiliary to battery, that EPS is going to help transfer that power to your engines, weapons, and your shields, get them to full power as quick as they can. And when it comes off of auxiliary to battery, that power is going to slowly slosh its way back into the auxiliary power level. So that would also help doing that. On your next one, I would probably on this one end up going You could probably do any of the three since you're auxiliary to battery, but even if you're not in auxiliary to battery and your auxiliary power is up, most of the time your weapon's power is going to be your highest. So you probably want to be looking for kind of like you were the escort, except for instead of it being W to shield, weapons to shield, you would probably want a weapons to auxiliary. So that would be putting a big bonus into your auxiliary power. Alright. And again, when you come to the capacitors, you can really go either way with that. You can pick the one that you would do. I would probably be looking at the weapon and the auxiliary capacitor, trying to figure out which one between the two of those. It's probably going to be some time before I even get to mess with these, because as you can see, the prices, the ones that we would be needing are going to be pretty expensive, and the price increases rather drastic as you go on up. So this setup that I'm talking about here on the overcharge would actually work really good for a science ship, because a lot of the science abilities are actually using auxiliary power. Some of your major science powers on a ship, like I believe viral matrix. Let's check that out real quick. That's sensor probes, gravity well, and yes, that's going to be auxiliary power level. And the next one, Titan's Rift, I believe is also auxiliary. It is. So if you were building a science ship, that would be something, that would be the type of warp core you'd want to look for that. If you were going to be doing a lot of crowd control things using Titan's Rift, gravity well, and things of that nature, that would definitely help you out making those stronger. Alright, go on to our last one. Like I said, is the hyper injection. This is about the only one that I have not looked at too awful much, because as we know, the hyper injection adds 7.5 additional engine power. I could see where maybe in some escorts where this could be useful, but then again, I would still prefer the shields over the speed. Like I said, I haven't really looked at this one too much, so I really don't know where this one might have a home. But like I said, I could see where you might want that additional engine power in an escort to try to move around a little bit faster. But the only other place I could think that would be a good place to use that would be on some cruisers, helping the big pigs get around. That would probably help you out a little bit there. Alright guys, just some quick tips, things that I've seen. If you actually come into this, and let's look at something right quick. I think this is the warp core that I got. Let's go back to the field. Alright, let's start searching for some, since y'all know I love escorts. Let's do a real quick search. This is how I usually search for the warp cores. I'll just get the first. The main one for, like I said, for the escort is going to be your warp core efficiency. So we can start searching here. Alright. One thing I've noticed, as you can see, you don't see any of the weapons to shields low on the totem pole. That's because everybody's wanting them. Once you get on up higher, actually there, do not see any in the mark. 11 purple. Nope, do not see any. Alright, let's drop back to a rare one. There's quite a few of these. Weapons to shield. Still not seeing any. There was a couple on here earlier today. People must have been buying them up. But anyway, if you can't find, like what we're running into now, the weapons to shields, what you can also start thinking about is what other power level on your ship is going to be the highest. It's going to vary from ship to ship, from build to build. What I would suggest doing is hop in, jump into an STF, jump into some combat, and while you're fighting, look at your power levels. Figure out, if you can't find that W to S, the weapons to shields for that escort, let's say you're running a little auxiliary heavy, maybe you're doing a DPS science kind of thing, and your auxiliary power is kind of high, but you want to add to that shield. In the escort, you want to add to the shield. So what you can do is find one that's maybe an auxiliary to shields. Let's say that you like running around fast and you've got your engine power way up. You can do an engine to shield. That's just something that y'all can look at, and maybe you can find one that's a little bit cheaper as you come down. Let's see, there's an auxiliary to engines. Let's see if we can find something with something to shields. Here's an engine to shields. Look at 350,000. It's got the EFF, got your efficiency, the first part that you need. It's not quite the weapons to shields, but look at the price. You know, you can do that one Admiral Bobo mission and pull that more than that off and buy that warp core and actually get you into a halfway decent warp core. And then you can start saving up and try to find something else later on down the road that'll be more efficient for you. Well, anyways, guys, I just wanted to give you an overview of some warp cores, share with y'all what I've learned. Like I said, on previous videos, I'm still learning every day. If I come across anything else on the warp cores, I'll do maybe a short supplement to this video and add on to it. Alright guys, I appreciate it. Thank y'all for watching and appreciate the support. Y'all, SSR out.